kind of work off of Mike's reference from last week about the Lions being like a bad hand job. This hand job was outstanding for like 90% of the game. Then all of a sudden at the end, your grandma came in and started showing you pictures of like your nephew's birthday, and then kicked you in the nuts and then walked out. So that's just a little update on that reference.
And then while you're on the ground, she spits on you
Yeah.
and say, "Sleep in it, pig."
So that's what it was like.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
But it ain't about how hard you hit.
And I'd hit out the park, no question, with all due respect.
It's about how hard you can get hit.
And you might need, at some point in your life, a little massage on your ass.
And keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Moving Forward podcast. We are back with Michael Gottschalk, Logan Russo, Sean Samples, Adam McAlay. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Moving Forward Pod, FWD, TikTok, The Moving Forward Pod, YouTube, Loth11, where I just posted a couple new NBA rebuilds and the new videos that I put up every day with the podcast, or I put the podcast up there first. All right. First, before we start this, Michael, did you know that you went kind of semi-viral with your hand job Lions thing?
Did I?
Yeah, you got like upwards of like 1,000 views on the Lions thing. So good job of being funny, Mike. I had a lot of people swipe up on my story and said, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's pretty funny. I give Michael all the credit, but you know, I gave him this platform. So I feel like I deserve 5%.
You know, Jake, I owe everything to you.
Yeah, I just can't wait for your Oscar nomination. I want to hear that as the first thing.
That'll be the first and only thing.
Sorry. I'm just cutting people off right now, but I like the way this podcast is trending, Jake. Just anything we do now, it's you. You are us.
I am you.
I'm happy.
It's like in Avatar when they connect their hair to the flying dragons. You guys are my flying dragon, and I am the Avatar girl.
Or we're like a Motown City singer in 1970, and you're like Barry Gordon. We sign our life to you.
Good.
Yep.
All right. Moving on. I have a huge hate later, and it's going to involve the Michigan State Spartans. But let's start there. Mike, 4-0. Does it really matter how you get there if it's 4-0?
Absolutely not. Fuck Nebraska. What team needs more than one first down in an entire second half?
Not me.
Not mine.
Nope.
No, I don't need it.
Not once.
Who needs it?
Nope. Not. Are we going to talk about the long-standing issues that might come from this game of how poorly they played, or just brush over it and say nope?
I'm going to say nope. I think Nebraska is probably the best defense in the country with how they played on Saturday.
That's a good point.
I don't think that can really be argued. To shut down a wagon like Michigan State, you got to be pretty solid. So,
I'm just disappointed that my Michigan State cover Kings did not cover this game. Sad. First time this season.
It's in a way they lost. They're really 3-1, aren't they?
Yeah, against the spread, which is all that matters.
Yeah.
So did Michigan, our other cover Kings. Another missed cover.
Well, actually, I got 3 notes about the Michigan State game that I wrote down.
Okay, let's hear it.
Can't wait for these.
First one is Mel Tucker got outcoached by Scott Frost. So
that might be true.
Just want to get that one out the top. Second note is the Kenneth Walker and Blake Corum the future Heisman matchup that was going to happen on Halloween. That's looking a little bit in trouble right now after this past weekend.
Did Blake Corum have a bad game?
They had him and
both didn't run for 150 yards like they usually do. So
they both got like 70 yards or something. It was a letdown.
Same exact thing. Yeah, my last note is it's super similar or super scary how similar Michigan State are, because I guess we're going to get into it now, but Michigan had a very similar second half, almost identical, where we went 3 and out on 4 straight drives. So I don't know what's going on with these two teams, but they seem to be linked together, and our matchup's going to be either one of the best games of all time or maybe one of the worst offensive games.
It might be that Michigan State game from freshman year when it was 14-10. That might be the final score.
That was
Ugh.
top 5
Just a
worst.
slugger.
Yeah.
That sucks. I noticed kind of the same thing. Like I think Michigan and Michigan State have very similar quarterbacks too. Like
Yeah.
McNamara and I can't
Peyton
fucking
Thorne?
think of Michigan. Yeah. I don't know why the guy's name's.
Oh,
slipped
you
my
mean
mind,
Rocky
but-
Lombardi? Rocky Lombardi?
Rocky Lombardi. Yeah. I think they're very similar though. They're kind of game managers with a good
It's
running
weird,
attack.
I think if we were to rank them on the pardon my take quarterback list, I think they might be assistants to the game managers, not game managers.
Peyton Thorne though, I mean like
He was bad.
he was terrible, but also he's only got 1 pick on the year, which I think is still pretty impressive to have 10 touchdowns in 1 pick.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think I knew exactly. Like, I'm not that surprised. I was pretty surprised, like, for how bad Nebraska played and how good for the MSU defense played. I was surprised MSU didn't win by closer to 10. But exactly what I thought about Nebraska and Rutgers are exactly the same. Like, they're just good. They're not, like, great teams. Like, they're not – Rutgers obviously not a 3-0 team. Like, they're probably going to end up being 7-5. And I think that's a pretty good year for Rutgers. And then Nebraska, they're not as bad as we thought at the beginning of the year. I think they're both middle-of-the-road teams.
I think I saw a stat that Nebraska's lost by like a combined 5 points the whole entire year or something. Like they've been within 1 score in every single game they played in. So
Yes,
I agree with what you're saying. Nebraska's not as bad. Rutgers is back to being a competent football team. Shiano's got them playing hard. Like their second. All right, so the second half of Michigan game was super weird because I'll go back to the quarterback thing. It's super weird with Cade McNamara because you see him in the first half. He goes, I think he's threw for 150 yards or something like that, had some great throws, had way more completions than he had incompletions. And then the second half, it didn't even look like he knew what was going on. He was overthrowing people. And I don't know, he just seems to be really hot and cold. And that's not even like people call him a game manager like you just mentioned earlier, but that's not what a game manager does. He wasn't even hitting the easy throws. So that's definitely a red flag for me. And yeah, I really need to see him play better against Wisconsin because this team seems to go when Cade goes.
Yeah, I don't think looking forward to next weekend, I don't think that game or that matchup looks as scary. Now, obviously, Wisconsin at home is a different monster, but let's kind of transition to one takeaway each from a game outside of Michigan State or Michigan, if you have one for college football. Kind of one that I was thinking is Wisconsin, they got more yards than Notre Dame, but still found a way to lose 41-13. I know there's a special teams touchdown, and I know that they had to go for it a lot on 4th down, but still, I think Nebraska or Wisconsin made an awful choice in picking Graham Mertz over Jack Cohn. Jack Cohn is much, much better than Graham Mertz is.
I don't know. I just don't think Graham Mertz was as advertised. And I think like they had to like give Graham Mertz the reins because he's like the 5-star recruit, biggest recruit Wisconsin's ever got at the quarterback position. But yeah, he's proven to just stink. He can't throw the football.
No,
I think Wisconsin's issue too is letting up 31 points in 1 quarter. Like I was watching that game and it was close for like the whole thing until it just exploded on him.
Yeah. They really loaded up and just blammo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ted, I don't know. I wouldn't hate to be a Wisconsin fan this past weekend because to have your ex-quarterback come in there and wipe the floor with you while your current quarterback throws 4 picks, it's got to be just a kick in the dick.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Mike, any other big takeaways from college football this week outside of MSU or U of M?
Yeah. Miami beat Central Connecticut State 69-0.
Quality win.
Makes huge win. Let me explain. I have a little background on Central Connecticut State. Makes Michigan State's win look a lot better. So Central Connecticut State beat a Wagner team, solid team, and they only lost a 1-score game to Southern Connecticut State, I believe,
which is a known powerhouse.
Rivalry game.
Good loss, honestly. Honestly, a program building loss.
Better
they
loss
also
than a win.
They lost a close 56-10 game against Southeast Louisiana that could have gone either way. So, shout out to Miami, making Michigan State look a lot better.
What a win for Michigan State! Like that's
I know, really.
Timing.
It's going to look real good on their college football resume.
Mhm.
I think that might be the decider if Michigan State's undefeated and they're like going up against like Texas A&M or something.
Yeah, a 1-loss Georgia team versus probably an 8-4 Michigan State team, but they beat Miami. So you got to give them that final spot.
Well, Miami beat Central Connecticut State, so you got to give.
So you got to give
that spot.
Central Connecticut State the final spot.
That'd be
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm. Logan, any takeaway from you outside of Michigan State and Michigan?
I'm so lost at the last 30 seconds of what is been but I don't know. 2 4-0 teams. Good to see it for the state.
No, outside of Michigan and Michigan State, any other
Uh-oh.
teams but those two?
Why not those 2 teams?
Because we just talked about them at length for a decent amount of time.
We did not talk about Michigan as much as I wanted to.
I don't know. It's just all kind of turning out how we kind of thought and planned it would be. So Alabama's still the top team. I think they're gonna kind of still take the reins. Ohio State still looking kind of dicey, still covered the spread against Akron, but
Clemson keeps getting the shit kicked out of him too.
Yeah. All right, Sean, if you want to get back on your soapbox with your tinfoil hat, we can talk about Michigan longer if you want to. I just thought it was kind of an ugly game.
I have a couple things. because I just want to get off my chest. John Ross getting hurt, our linebacker, it's a big reason for why we start getting up route like a lot of yards in the second half. And God, I hope he's not hurt for long term, because as soon as he went out of the game, we started getting our shit punched in by Rutgers, which was not good. And then, yeah, I feel like teams are just keep loading the box and they're going to make us throw the ball. And I'm concerned. I'm just concerned, everyone.
I would also be concerned, because I would be less concerned if they still had Ronnie Bell, because he's just such a great playmaker, but they don't have him anymore. Like the way that Michigan State and Michigan, like, just, I hate to circle back to it again, mirror each other. Like the fact that State just has all these offensive weapons, like an awesome running back, 2 awesome wide receivers, like really competent wide receivers outside of that. A really good, like Connor Hayward at tight end is really working out. And the fact that they have a quarterback who like struggles to get them the ball at open times at points. And I think it's the same thing with McNamara. It's scary. Like just to know that if these 2 teams possibly had an elite or like better than these 2 quarterbacks, like these could be really, really good football teams. And I just feel like because of the quarterback situation, there's going to be some losses when they shouldn't lose at some points in this season.
Exactly. And you saw that in the second half too, because all they did was just load the box. They made Cade throw that one-on-one coverage throw that like you need to hit when people are loading the box against your run. And 1, the receivers weren't getting separation, and 2, he couldn't make the throw. And I like your point about Ronnie Bell, because if we had him, he'd be the one getting that separation. Like you could see it even in that first game. He had 2 long touchdowns, long throws where he caught it. And yeah, it just hurts. I don't know how far these 2 teams can go, but I feel like it's going to be far enough for us to all get our hopes up and then
get hurt.
So
yeah, I literally walked around downtown East Lansing at the bar with my mouth wide open because Michigan State, I just kept on saying to myself, they won when they should have lost. And I just said that over and over and over again. And I was just like, how do you win a football game like that? So that was refreshing. But all right, Adam, looks like you're in San Francisco with Mike. You want to say something outside of Michigan and Michigan State college football?
I didn't watch any other games.
Okay.
Our producers are on their game today.
All right, let's
listen to this podcast, everyone.
Okay, let's put our producers on the test, because I asked Adam, Sean, we're still a little bit behind on drafts, or Sean's going to try to do the solo date at some point, either this week or next week. So we're going to keep holding off until we can get a little bit more. Plus, I think we're a little draft burnt out right now, but the Would You Rather segment was pretty funny with the MSU guys from a couple weeks ago. And we did one a couple weeks ago that I thought was kind of funny too. So I asked Adam to come up with some pretty good Would You Rather questions, and we will all take our turn, explaining our reasoning for why we would rather do one thing than the other. So Adam, over to you.
All right. I have 4 Would You Rathers. The first one is, would you rather have the brains of a squirrel but still be human, or have the brains of a human but be a squirrel?
I think I'd really rather have the brain of a human and be a squirrel.
Would I even know that I'm alive if I was a human with a squirrel brain? But then I would also live in a sadness of not being able to communicate with anybody as just a squirrel in the human's mind.
Just climb up trees, look for nuts all day.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds pretty fun. Can I change into one of those flying squirrels? Could I be one of those?
Sure. Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Yeah, sure. Then I'd like to be the squirrel with the human brain. That sounds fun.
I don't know how much would change if I had a squirrel brain inside of a human body. I'd still just be a guy trying to get a nut.
Well said. I was trying to work a reference in there about getting a nut, but I couldn't get there. But
Yeah, it wouldn't matter. Just like a guy, I could be a guy or a squirrel. I just love having nuts in my mouth.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two good ones right
Great.
there. Well, that should wrap that one up.
All right.
Thanks for another episode of the Moving Forward podcast.
All right. Would you rather change gender every time you sneeze or not be able to tell the difference between a muffin and a baby?
Jesus Christ.
The changing gender thing sounds fun. I'd take that.
Yeah, I feel like the baby
Yeah, that'd be
and
fun.
muffin thing would cause a lot of problems.
I would get you in a world.
Could you imagine your child and then you're just like, yeah, that just sounds awful. I think I'd do the flipping gender thing. I've always
Yeah.
wanted to
Imagine
see what it's like to
walking-
be a girl.
Imagine walking by a bakery. It'd be a
Sure.
fucking nightmare, dude.
Putting the babies in the oven.
Millions of
All you
babies
would hear-
crying.
All you
Or
would hear
vice
every
versa.
time you go into a coffee shop would just be crying babies.
Or every time you
horrible.
went to like a hospital, it would just be a bakery.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you'd
Damn,
have
this muffin tastes terrible. Fuck.
Damn, why is this muffin so crunchy?
Mm.
It's like baby.
What if
Hey,
you
does this
just
baby have blueberries in it?
all right?
feel like-
Is everyone going with the switching gender thing or
I feel like, I think
Yeah.
I would go with the switching gender thing.
probably go with the
You can
switching
make
gender thing.
yourself sneeze with ease. Like you can just hold some pepper up to your nose and you can just change whatever you feel like that day.
yeah, I would just carry around pepper all the time and just be they call me pepper person because I'd be a man and a woman.
Wow.
Nice to meet you, Pepper Person.
Thank you.
Cayenne pepper.
That's fun.
Cyan Pepper is
Cayenne
my
Pepper.
yeah, it's my street basketball name.
Mm.
All right. Would you rather shit out a watermelon or piss out a golf ball?
Shit out a
Yeah,
watermelon.
Heartbeat. I'm not doing that. I've
I don't
had some
understand
shits
how
where like
big
it
a
felt like it.
watermelon is.
You know how big a golf ball is? It's a much smaller hole. It's way
think-
less stretchy.
I think it's fair to say both those would kill you.
Well, I
Both
think
of
there's
them
a
would be a
caveat
nightmare,
saying
but-
that you wouldn't die.
Oh,
But just imagine the relief after you pass that watermelon. though.
Yeah, and then you get to cut it open and eat it afterwards too.
I think I passed
So-
a watermelon 2
That's
hours
weird.
ago.
But yeah, pissing out a golf ball, you're just basically passing the world's worst kidney stone, and that's nothing but pain. But the watermelon shit would be pure ecstasy after that's over.
It would be. That once you get past the
That
like, the-
halfway point,
the
yeah,
midpoint of the watermelon,
and it just
everything
plops
just comes out real smooth.
Your
Oh,
eyes
yeah.
just roll into the back of your head, and you just probably see God at that point.
You know the Kanye thing from his Donda release videos when he's just floating to the sky. Yeah, that'd be me.
That'd be-
Probably wouldn't be able to walk for another week though.
oh no, you'd be
All right.
confined to your toilet. You would have to be dragged around, but you'd just be, yeah, like we said.
It's all right. At least the watermelon would be there to keep you fed.
All right, I got one more. Would you rather have Would you rather have chopsticks for hands or office chairs for feet? You're perfectly adept at using both.
Office chairs for feet.
Office chairs for feet. definitely.
Office chairs for feet would be
Yes,
fun.
office chairs.
Office chairs for feet would be cool.
What
It'd
if
be
you
like
gotta go
roller
up a
skates.
hill though?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
hills
Up
would
the
be
hill.
tough.
What if you have to do
What if
anything
somebody
with
could just-
chopsticks as
Yeah,
hands?
for
Could
real.
somebody just push me? Could somebody
literally
just
anything? You can't even get to the hill because you can't drive.
somebody could just push me up the hill and I just would glide nicely.
Yeah, you get someone to push you down. Oh yeah, someone pushes you up the hill, and then going down is just like a fucking ride. Awesome.
How do you beat your meat if you have chopsticks for hands?
Yeah, that's what I was
You
thinking.
get
too.
splinters like crazy.
Yeah. What
I
about
think
grabbing
Logan hit the nail
ass?
on the head. You can't really do anything with chopsticks besides expertly eat any Chinese food.
I'm terrible with chopsticks.
Yeah, me too. I feel uncultured every time. Every
Yeah.
time I go to a Chinese restaurant, they're like, "This white boy just wants utensils," and then I don't even get chopsticks most of the time.
Oh, you have to do that They hand you chopsticks
Rubber bands.
and then you have to add utensils. That's one of the worst things in life.
Oh, can I get
Yeah.
a fork, please?
I can't. Yeah, just please help. Or usually just break down crying.
I would just
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
I don't know if I could live through that embarrassment. I think I'd just start shoveling the food in my mouth with my hands. That's my preferred eating technique anyway. So
Yeah.
mhm. like a
Elena's
savage.
too.
Yeah, she's real lucky. I don't know why she'll stay with me when I can't open this bike shop in a couple of years. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough treading those waters.
You got three. You got three. How many years did you say? 3 years?
3 years. If I quit, 3 years.
We need to get to that later.
So
So do you want
years to make a
so-
business plan.
You want to explain that again to the
Um,
listener?
all right. So this will nicely segue. I guess we'll do. I wanted to do NFL and then love hate.
Let's save it for later. Let's do some Lions.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's do some Lions, which also makes me very, very sad. So, am I the only person that when the Lions scored, I knew that they were still going to lose? Was I the only person who knew like they weren't going to win the game?
No. If you were a true Lions fan, as soon as you saw time left on the clock,
Yep.
you knew we were going to lose. Like, at no point was I comfortable with us winning that game. I saw I was checking Twitter too, and people were like penciling it in. They're like, "Wow, Dan Campbell's first win." Big Cat tweeted like, "Dan Campbell's gonna go crazy in the locker room." All this shit, and I just knew it. As soon as I saw that, I knew what was gonna happen. And sure enough, my God, did they not disappoint?
They did not. The fact that I saw Prater attempt that 68-yarder earlier and miss it, and then Agnew returned it for a touchdown, I was just like, This is giving me weird energy. Why would that happen? And then when I saw Tucker line up for 66, I'm like, yeah, this is it. This makes sense. Like Justin Tucker, one of the best kickers of all time. Lions looking for their first win. Could have been their possibility at their only win this season, and they miss. I'll take that back. They definitely get one win. This team is feisty. I will say that. I like this team fights hard. The fact that they only held the Ravens to 19 total points was huge improvements for their defense. So I'll take that away as a positive for this game. But yeah, besides that, tough way to lose, but I'm not really mad that they lost, to be honest. It's just not surprising.
You think they beat the Bears next week?
I think they might beat the Bears. I think they could
Might
beat the Bears.
They need to beat the Bears.
Is Khalil Mack?
Please, for fuck's sake, beat the Bears.
Or this is like the Justin Fields coming out party where this is going to be.
You know what? That's
That would
probably
not
it.
be-
Yep.
Justin Fields.
Yep, this is a Justin
Yeah.
Fields coming out party where he just absolutely destroys the Lions, and that's what he'll be doing for the next 15 years.
I don't know.
He's
exactly
gonna have
what's
like
gonna
7
happen.
touchdowns.
Lamar's like what Justin Fields, like his wet dream of what he wants to be. That is what Lamar already is. And then we just held him to like 19 points. So
Yeah,
And
but I think that might be an outlier.
he also might be one of the worst coaches in the NFL. So we got that on our side.
He is when I was listening to Bears fans like talk about Matt Nagy, it gives me major Matt Patricia last year vibes where we all just hated him to death, just want him to be fired so bad. I don't think last year I ever hated a coach more. And just hearing, honestly, just different Bears fans talk about it, I don't think they've ever hated a coach more than they hate Matt Nagy being the head coach of the Bears.
It's definitely got that feeling of a coach that's not been fired yet, but is already fired. Like,
Yeah.
his time seems like an ending. But to get back to the Lions, though, obviously horribly crushing. And to kind of work off of Mike's reference from last week about the Lions being like a bad hand job, this hand job was outstanding for like 90% of the game. And all of a sudden at the end, your grandma came in and started showing you pictures of like your nephew's birthday, and then kicked you in the nuts and then walked out. So that's just a little update on that reference.
And then while you're on the ground, she spits on you
Yeah.
and say, "Sleep in it, pig."
So that's what it was like for Lions.
Dang.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I don't know. Like you said, this team, they're fun bad. Like it's fun to watch them be bad. Like they're not as bad as like the Jets, the Giants, who else? The Jags. They're all like bad. The Lions are fun bad. And
They're just like the Pistons were last year.
yeah, and it worked out for the best.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it more next week because we'll see the Pistons actually play their first preseason game. But that's actually something I'm looking forward to as a Detroit team season that I'm looking forward to is the Pistons. I couldn't be more excited to watch them play.
Me too.
So there's that. All right.
Yeah, overall, actually, I got a couple other things about the Lions.
Okay. Yeah. Let's tee off. Let's hear more about the Detroit
Let's
Lions.
just all admit on this podcast that the Lions are cursed. And I took the liberty of looking up a few things that we could do to maybe break this curse. So I looked up a WikiHow. They said protective decoy puppets. So I was thinking maybe we make like Dan Campbell puppets
and protect them.
Ford Field with puppets so they can like embrace all that energy. So that could work. Maybe some folk magic. Like
Okay.
Incense. We can light some incense in the field.
Yeah,
This is all an offer for the Lions, by the way. I know they're very active with their fan community, so we could just do this for free. A weird one was take a salt bath. So I don't know how we're going to get the whole team in there, but I'm thinking they have like a team pool. We just dump some salt into that pool, say some incantations, and get that out of there. So
okay,
it's an open invitation to the Lions to have us do any of those things because this is getting out of hand at this point.
I can't do many more years of this.
I watched a video on Woodward TV or a TikTok of one of their guys going around asking Lions fans to describe what it's like in one word to be a Lions fan. There were some before, some after the game. And the amount of old men that just said waiting, like hoping to see one Super Bowl before they die. And they're like in their mid 70s. I'm like, will that be me in 50 years? And it's just,
I hope not, dude. I hope
so
not.
sad. Like the law of averages, they have to be good at some point, right?
That's what that 7-year-old man probably thought when he was our age.
All right, that will do it for the Moving Forward podcast. We have entered a stage of depression.
That's actually like, I'm not even afraid of dying. I'm actually just afraid of dying and not seeing the Lions make the playoffs. Again. I'm way more afraid of that because it seems more real.
Would you be okay with it if somehow the Pistons rattled off 3 championships with Cade Cunningham?
No,
No.
because there's something about the Lions that we just need to see. And we'll never get that satisfaction if they don't at least fucking win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Because every other team we have, we've seen win.
Yeah.
And be good. At least compete for championships. Like the Pistons made 6 straight Eastern Conference finals while winning a championship in that. And then also the Red Wings won a couple of times during the 2000s. The Tigers were competitive and they look competitive this year and are on the up and up. So it's like, it's just, I don't know what it is about football. It's like
the Tigers were the best team in the AL for like 10 years or one of the best teams.
Yeah.
The Red Wings went to the playoffs 21 straight years. The Pistons have won 3 franchise championships. And the Lions are just that fucking stinker of a
And they haven't won a playoff game since 1991.
Lions are one of the worst professional sports franchises in American sports.
Yeah.
Can we take away a positive from this game is when Calvin Johnson was enshrined into the Hall of Fame for the Lions and got his Hall of Fame ring. They booed the everling hell out of Sheila Ford. So maybe they're one step closer to giving the team to Jeffrey Bezos.
Yes, please.
And then they gave Calvin Johnson 30 seconds to make his speech. So that was cool. They're just like enriching moment for him.
All right.
Cut the cord on him.
Yeah. Well, the Lions make us sad. Let's all go around the NFL kind of like we did. I'm sure a lot of us watched a lot more NFL than we did college football. So everyone just want to fly around. One takeaway from the NFL Sunday this week. I'll start. Are the Chiefs finally having their Super Bowl hangover? I know they're 1-2 and they're probably going to make the playoffs, but the fact that they're last place of the AFC West was kind of shocking to me.
They've lost 2, not fluke games, but just 2 close games. I don't think they need to have anything to be worried about.
Yeah, I know, but where's their week where they just score 60 points against some poor team? I feel it coming.
I think their defense has a lot of problems.
That's what I was about to say. That's their main issue right now.
I also think
they don't really. Their O line is terrible too.
Yeah, they're 3 games in with a whole brand new O line.
Yeah.
So
and maybe. Sorry, Adam.
I was just gonna say I think the Chargers are legit. They look really good. Justin Herbert, he's gonna be really good.
Justin Herbert is a
I wrote
dog.
that down too. I think the Chargers need to be considered as like a Super Bowl contender at this point because they're a complete team. They have good defense. They have outstanding offense. So I don't know if the Chiefs should be concerned about like not having a Super Bowl hangover. I just think they need to tighten some shit up. Maybe Patrick Mahomes should stop throwing no-look 40-yard bombs in the closing minutes of a game.
Yeah, and throw the ball to Tyreek Hill more,
I don't think that's
please.
gonna work.
All right, Mike. One thought from this week, NFL.
The Rams are super legit. Matt was pretty damn good against the Buccaneers. They kind of manhandled them for the whole game. I think their defense is awesome. I think their offense is great. And I think they got to be in that conversation as like one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the league. Like
I think
firmly.
right now they might be the best team.
They might be the best. I mean, beating the Buccaneers like that is pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, I really
100%
want to go
agree.
to a game at their stadium. It looks
Yeah, it looks
fucking incredible.
awesome.
It looks so damn cool.
Like the stuff even outside of the stadium just looks so cool. Just like it's an entire
Dude, they
plaza.
have their beer cups that they give you are aluminum.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow.
That's crazy. I want to go there so bad.
Their fans were really loud too. Like they have a lot of hype going on around the team. So
I think it's pretty funny. Like if you look at any of the LA teams that kind of split the stadium, sure, there's a lot more Lakers fans than there are Clippers fans, but I feel like there are still Clippers fans. Like they sell out home games. Like when the Chargers play at home compared to the Rams, like it's mostly away teams fans that are at these games. Like the Chargers have zero supporting fan base in LA, and I have no idea why they ever left San Diego. It made no sense. I hope they return because there's just something better about the San Diego Superchargers than the Los Angeles Chargers. It's just boring to me. I miss the San Diego Chargers.
should we just stop?
You want to break?
Yeah, it's about to break.
Okay. I was just waiting for somebody to say something.
I was waiting for you to say something.
I think we're about to get cut off like any second now. So
Yeah, we are.
I was gonna say something, but
All right. Well, when we start the next thing, just start with whatever you were going to say about the San Diego Chargers thing. And
or
it
we
will,
can start with something really generic. Be like, great point, Jake.
sure. That works too.
Wow, Jake, great point.
Right-o, buddy.
Okay, Pyman. Yeah.
I don't know
All right.
anything else
That was
about the
great.
Chargers. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
our Zoom link cut out.
All right, Logan. God damn it. All right, Logan. One takeaway NFL this week.
My takeaway is: are the Raiders legit? Are they contenders? Are they playoff material? What do you guys think?
It's going to be
don't
hard
know if-
because I think the Broncos are legit, and I think the Chiefs are legit, and I think the Chargers are legit. So it's hard to have 4 good teams in that division, even though I think the AFC isn't as good as the NFC. So there's a chance that at least 3 of them can get into the playoffs, and I think that'd be crazy.
Do you know the record of the Broncos? The record of all the teams they've played?
The Broncos beat the shit out of the Jets. And I'll look at it
They
right
played
now.
the Jaguars.
What is the record? Do you know it off the top?
0-9.
Oh, 0-9.
The
Okay.
3 teams
Oh,
they
yeah.
have played are combined 0-9.
Well, maybe the
right.
Broncos aren't that good.
The Raiders just beat the Dolphins without their starting quarterback in overtime too, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what to
Sure,
make
not a
of
good
it
look.
because I think the Ravens win was pretty damn lucky. Like they had a lot of things go their way for them to win that game. They really had no business doing it. The
But
Ravens.
I don't know about the Ravens are weird too though, because like they lost to the Raiders and then they almost lost to the Lions, who might end up being the worst team in the league.
Then they beat the Chiefs. So I don't.
They did. I don't know. The Ravens are super weird.
I think
Yeah,
I think you put the Raiders in that category where we're just like, I don't know.
I don't know,
Kind of
Jim.
like with the Cardinals in that
I don't know,
area.
Jim. Maybe. Jim.
Yeah. I don't think they're
think they're
contenders,
Cardinals.
but
Yeah.
I think they're solid. I wouldn't put them in that upper echelon category yet. They're probably like in the B area.
they're mid.
They're mid as fuck.
Yeah, they're mid as fuck.
Fucking
Boy.
mid.
They're definitely B tier, not S, not A tier, B tier.
Wow. B tier.
Yep. All right, Sean, a takeaway from the NFL this week.
I think we kind of touched on it earlier. I'll do a quick one. The Bears should keep Matt Nagy forever because it's hilarious. He's just comical.
Yeah.
He said Justin Fields was hurt in the press conference, and then Justin Fields came on right afterwards and said he wasn't hurt, like within 10 minutes of each other. So I was just.
I think he's just setting the stage right now for Andy Dalton to be starting next week again. So
I've seen the theory thrown out that he may have thrown that game to get Andy Dalton back as the starter.
just to show people that he is smarter than them.
He said, I just saw a headline on ESPN. I didn't read the article, but it said they're trying out their 3 quarterbacks. Like they're all options for starters.
Who's even the third?
Yeah.
Who's the third guy?
Nick Foles.
I gotta look it up.
I don't think
Nick Foles.
No, it's Nick
Oh
Foles.
my God.
He hasn't
Nick
suited up
Foles.
for a game. He's basically like their assistant this year. So
Big Dick
my
Nick.
God, bro.
I think
Jesus
Nick
Christ.
Foles could easily go throw for like 175, a touchdown, and probably an interception too.
yeah,
Contend.
But why not use the potentially generational quarterback talent that you just drafted in the first round? Why go back to Nick Foles?
who gives you the best chance to win the ball game?
I can tell you.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I guess maybe Nick Foles.
I think the situation he's in now is he knows he needs to win, but he should be fired, and he doesn't have time to like develop Justin Fields. So
He's in the
trying to win games, and in his backwards thinking, he thinks a non-rookie quarterback may be able to win him more games. Which is, I'm thinking that's just the way he's thinking because he can.
I think that probably is what he's thinking.
I think that if he wants to try to keep his job, if I'm being honest, if he wants to try to keep his job, he should roll Justin Fields out there every single game and hope they go like 8-8. That's, I think,
agree.
his best chance of keeping his job.
Because even if they go 8-8 and Andy Dalton starts, well, they'd be like what 8-9 now.
8-9.
But
Sorry.
like, yeah. But no, you're good. But if they roll out Andy Dalton and that result happens, he's gonna get fired, or the Bears fans are gonna have his head on a pike outside Soldier Field.
I'm praying for Pike. That'd be awesome.
No,
I hope he's their coach for the next 15 years. But I think that's his only path forward.
I think what's exactly going to happen is he will get fired. Eric Bieniemy will be their head coach, and they'll be a prolific offense with Justin Fields and kill us.
Awesome.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Yep. All right, Adam, wrap us up. What's one thing NFL this week?
Yeah, so I said like with the Chargers, I think they're legit, but I also think that Big Ben needs to call it quits because he looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
He threw 58 he threw it 58 times and had like 350 yards, but he still just looks like shit and he shouldn't be out there.
I saw one where he just ate the sack, and it's the TikTok trend. Like,
yeah,
who's going to the retirement home?
He's like, is it the one where he's like rolling out of the pocket and he like tries to throw it and it takes him straight down?
Yeah, and he just falls.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
That was
so funny.
That could be one of the most unathletic plays to ever be seen on an NFL field.
He needs to get fat again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you guys see how many
I
targets?
don't think he's very far away.
Yeah, I think he's already
not exactly-
He's one birthday cake away from being fat boy again. He just needs to go eat a birthday cake.
He looks
guys
like
doesn't exactly have a swimmer's body.
Did you guys see how many targets Najee Harris had?
Yeah, he's very good.
He had 19 targets,
Holy shit.
And he's a running back.
14 catches. Yeah.
I don't even
beat
know
him
if
in-
you
Not
can call
good.
if you can call that good though, because
It's
look,
not good.
Ben panicking,
It's horrible.
looking to the.
He's just hitting
It's
checkdowns.
horrible. That's so bad.
I don't know. I have Najee Harris in our PPR Dynasty League, and I kind of loved it. It
Sure
was
you did,
a
yeah.
good game.
Stop! Shut up. Don't talk about that.
Will you let me have one thing, because this will bring us into love hate now. I'm going to start with my hate because we were talking about it before the show. My first hate is my fantasy football team. One of them is really good. One of them is very bad. Who cares? No one cares about your fantasy football team. Moving on to my actual hate for this week is I was sitting there talking with my boss today about how she's like, oh, I'm tired of work. And I'm like, yeah, I'm tired of work too. I'd like to do a job that I actually don't hate. And she goes, well, I didn't say the hate part, but she goes, well, if you quit, you can't work at a bike shop for 3 years. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Then she goes to tell me how in the contract I signed, I said that I would, if I quit my job or if I am terminated, I cannot work at a bike shop for 3 different years, 3 years, because they had somebody who left their D&D or whatever and opened their own bike shop and ended up being very successful and stole a bunch of customers from them. So they've now put that in the contract of every single person. So I'm shit out of a job. I've been basically locked into a 3-year contract because now all I know is bikes after 2 months. What do I do, guys?
I think my first reaction to that is maybe just don't work at a bike shop.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
That advice is stored away.
But apparently the bike shop game is so prolific that people are leaving other bike shops to start additional bike shops. So maybe you find a lawyer, get out of that contract,
Okay.
double cross them,
Oh,
and then make your own bike shop and call it the Moving Forward Bike Shop.
yeah.
The
It's just
pedaling
kind of
forward bike shop.
Maybe.
it's kind of tough because I just literally cannot think of any other job that you could do that wouldn't be at a bike shop.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the economy's booming and it's only for bike shops. Is there
I
any?
agree.
Are there any
Stand bike
unicycle?
shops.
Are there any unicycle shops?
Not a big market,
your
actually.
area.
They've actually hit hard times due to the pandemic.
Scooters?
Maybe the language in your contract
Scooters.
even prevents you from a unicycle shop.
Mm.
It could say motorized vehicles or
Fill the gap in the market, Jake.
But on top of the great success that bikes are already having, you know, they're booming, but they cannot afford to pay their workers' commission on the bikes that they sell. So there was a promotion that they did this month. And if you can sell 2 electronic bicycles, they usually go for around $3,000. So if you sell $6,000 worth of e-bikes, they'll pay you a whole, drum roll, everybody, $100. So if I can sell one more in the next 3 days, Brighton D&D or East Lansing D&D, come buy a bike, e-bike, I can get a whole $100 in my pocket.
oh my
So
god.
What will you ever? What you that might be enough for you to retire.
that might be enough for me to hire that lawyer to start my own bike shop.
Yeah.
Jake, you got to quit this job, dude.
Dude, as soon as I get something fucking lined up, I'm doing it. I have to make money. I want to quit so bad, but I can't. I have to make money.
First off, I'm disgusted you're actually taking money for selling bikes. That's just your job. You shouldn't want the money for it.
Yeah.
You're right. It is my passion. I can't believe
Love
I've
it.
turned into this corporate greed.
So I'm surprised you're not fired for that one. And then, yeah, maybe do a job where when you sell something, you get a little bit of money for it. I don't know.
Mm.
So, yeah.
I'll take these things in consideration, but I'll probably end up working here for the foreseeable future. So this will be a reoccurring hate
You know what
for
Effed
the rest
up
of my
part is?
life.
Nowhere else is hiring right now. Can't
Yeah.
even find anywhere.
It's a barren job market.
Solid.
Dude, besides the fact that I hate it, my schedule is awesome. So I really don't want to leave. When I have Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays off, like it's ideal.
Jake, here's an idea.
Aren't you working 10-hour days Monday through Thursday?
I am.
Okay.
That
Here's
is
an
Wanted
idea,
that on
Jake.
the record.
How about you just stay in the bike shop forever and become the bike shop?
I become the
True.
bike shop. I die
Yes.
and become the bike shop.
You are the
Okay.
bike shop.
Well, I'm still banking on the Moving Forward podcast exploding. So still waiting on that.
Just
Once that
slowly
happens,
For a
I'm
podcast,
quitting.
please share.
Yeah, please share.
start putting like flyers in the windows with like the QR code to our Spotify link.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
great idea.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd-
All right. That was my hate this week. Logan, Adam, we haven't heard very much from you. Logan, what is your hate this week? We're starting with hate today.
We're
I'm gonna
start negative.
I'm going to defer to Adam.
All right.
Do you not have a hate?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll
well,
come to you at the
alright.
end. You
How
Had a
about
good
this?
week.
I have a hate that could bounce into you talking about the story.
To me?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right.
So this one,
Sean, would
My
you just
hate-
like to go?
yeah, I'm just gonna go because Logan can chime in on this one. So my hate is bouncers. We were all in the lovely city of Grand Rapids this weekend, and we had some outstanding encounters with bouncers. One included 4 of us trying to get into a bar, or 7 of us trying to get into a bar. He wouldn't let us all go in, and Logan leaned in, probably like a normal lean into. He wasn't like in his face or anything. He just leaned in and was like, "Hey, how about you just let us all in the bar?" And the guy
Mhm.
said, "What? get out of my face, bro. And had Logan let all of us in the bar and said, no, you stay. I need to talk to you. And yeah, Logan, you can give a little more insight on what that conversation was like. But
Yeah, so I leaned into him like, hey, man, we got 7 people. We don't have 4. He's like, do not lean into me.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, man. I was just trying to tell you. He's like, come over here and talk to me. So I go over there, talk to him. He's like, why are you leaning into me? And I'm like, all right, man. I was just saying, like, we have 7 people. We don't have 4. He's like, all right, don't do it again. He said some other things too. And he just ended up letting me in.
yeah,
What a weird guy.
I just don't know.
He was horrible.
That's the average bouncer you find at a bar.
It
Like,
is.
they're all the same. Like that would happen at any other bar we went to, I'm sure. Like I have no idea what happens, like the human brain when they get in a position where they can decide whether or not you can go into a bar or not, but it's toxic.
It's like the Stanford prison experiment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
As soon as you get power.
Yeah, it's like any time that you give a middle-aged man the ability to referee a basketball game of like 6th graders, and they just get a power trip on that.
Another
It's
fair comparison.
awesome. It's yeah,
Bouncers and referees may be the same people.
that is a very good comparison.
They're most angry, power-hungry people on this planet. They rival top politicians.
Their greed is unrivaled. All right. Well, Sean, thank you for having a hate. So Logan got a cop out this week.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that'll be my hate. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
My hate, kind of going off yours, is bad tippers. I worked this Sunday at a retirement party. I was bartending. It was like a 120-person event, and 4 people tipped me for the entire 4-hour event. And I want to just say that the 116 people that did not tip me, please go fuck yourself. Thank you.
That's fucked up. I thought the number would have been at least a little bit higher than that, but 4 out of 120 is
4 people.
absolutely insane.
Yes,
Wow.
it
Making
is.
the drink strong.
It was an open bar too. It was an open bar.
Wow.
That's
So you
even
don't throw
worse.
a couple bucks at the bartender,
especially at an open bar.
Yeah.
Mm.
especially when the bartender looks like me. I'm adorable.
Yeah, I would have thrown you a strong 20 to start the night, and then I would have just said, "Hey, son, make him strong." Smacked you
filling
on the
me up.
ass, gave you a little bit of kiss on the neck, and then just walked away.
I think you
Yeah,
should.
that's what I was hoping for.
You should just not put alcohol in their drinks after that. After like
I was
the-
mostly pouring wine.
Oh, yeah, you're
Oh,
fine.
like grape juice.
Get him grape juice.
Yeah.
I should have.
Pissed in the white
Just
wine.
fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't really do anything if you're just serving wine. You're kind of in a rock and a hard place at that point.
Yeah. It was a
If you're
bummer.
doing like mixies, just make them super weak, so then they get angry and just keep coming back, and eventually the law of averages will weigh out and they'll start tipping you.
Yeah. I should have just talked to Loogie in one of them.
Yeah, as they're looking at you pour it.
Just
Just drool into it on accident.
so you liking the event?
How's your night going?
I'm sorry,
Oh, it was
Mike.
chunky.
That's tough.
Yeah, it was.
Really sorry.
How about you, Adam?
My hate is that my turn signal, my left-hand turn signal went out in my car. And every time I need to turn left, I had to stick my fucking arm out the window. And it sucks. I feel like an
You
idiot.
sound like you're under a blanket.
Yeah. Are you?
I hate Adam's mic.
Yeah, I
What?
also hate Adam's mic.
Yeah.
Oh,
AirPods are not good.
yeah.
It was it was kind of like a sad hate.
Adam,
Sounded like you were calling in on an old flip phone to a radio show.
Talking from across the room.
My turn signal was out.
So did the hand
I
signals
had to
that
use my
they
arm.
so the turn signals that they teach you in driver's training where you stick your hand out a certain way, Adam, did that ever come into play?
Yeah, I just roll my window down and stick my arm out.
Did you do a moving motion or did you just right out the window?
No, just straight.
at least you have a cop out if a cop pulls you over. You're just like, well, I put my arm out the window.
That is true.
Yeah.
Adam
Does
is
it
very,
still
very
sound like
good.
I'm under a blanket?
Yeah.
Yeah. Has not changed.
It's too late now. Just roll
Yeah,
with
it's
it.
too late. Just we're too deep into this shit. All right. Logan, you didn't really have a hate, so let's hear your love this week. What
boy.
you said you had a good week. What is one good thing that happened?
I should have prepared for one of these too.
It's not like we do
It's like you
this
don't know we
same,
do them.
Yeah, it's not like we don't do this one
Yeah,
same segment for every single podcast.
You think I'd think of this too? I haven't.
Yeah.
been on in like 2 weeks. I'd have a couple lined up, but I guess not. My hate, sweatshirt weather. It's getting cold again, and I like wearing sweatshirts.
Good
Your
one.
love or hate?
He said hate, he meant love.
Oh, did I say my hate?
Wow. No, yeah, you said it. It's okay though, but
Oh,
yeah.
my love.
We
I
understood.
love them too. It's so
Yeah.
nice.
It covers up my little bit of blubber on my body.
It's perfect.
Feel good.
I'm a big crew neck guy now. I'm kind of done with sweatshirts. I don't own them. I don't own one anymore.
Crewneck fan. Yeah.
I'm also a big
Own a-
crew neck
do you say
fan.
you don't own a sweatshirt?
Out of
You
my
don't have one hoodie?
not one. I will show you right now. I do not have one.
Wow.
You don't have a single hoodie.
Not one. I don't need it.
Liar, liar, pants on
I
fire.
just wear a
Well,
cap.
when you're cold and you like got to go outside, but it's like not cold enough, do you just put on like a cashmere V-neck?
I'll wear my scarf or my turtleneck. Those are my first two options, or just put on a beanie, or you just take the cold.
Just bare arms.
I just
Bare
take the
arms,
cold
no
option.
shirt, just a beanie and a scarf.
I just don't know. I feel so baggy with the sweatshirt. Like I don't like the hood around it. I feel like an uncircumcised penis. I don't know. I can't.
Would you rather feel like a circumcised penis?
No, I
Because
feel
that's
like
what you are with a crew neck.
I
Crew
feel
necks are the
so-
circumcised penises of sweatshirts.
Yes, they are.
Wow. What a take.
That's what I want to be like. So I feel at home right now.
Okay.
And I didn't think I'd get this platform, but I'm glad it's all rushing out of me.
All right.
My love is kind of in Logan's realm, and it's pumpkin spice. I'm sick of the hate. They're fucking delicious. Pumpkin spice things are amazing. I'd like to change the stigma that it's a white girl beverage.
We did it
because
for
also drink
Mike's
them.
Hard Lemonade. We could do it again for pumpkin spice.
I still don't like Mike's Hard Lemonade, but I do like.
Damn it, Mike. It's always one step
Pumpkin
forward and two
spice.
steps back with you.
One step back into a pumpkin spice latte.
I don't know. I
Doing
feel
a
like
backstroke in it.
you're in a perfect spot to just start liking that stuff, because at this point, if you say a pumpkin spice joke, it's not funny anymore.
No,
You sound like the
not.
most average 35-year-old person if you make a pumpkin spice latte joke. So
Yeah.
I think it's okay to like them.
Might as well make like a Tide Pod joke.
Oh God,
Oof.
Yeah.
not even that. You're just in the millennial realm of humor.
You're a big Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, talk about what house you're from. Yeah, I can't
You
really.
take quizzes to figure out like which member of the Friends you are.
Oh my God, you make an Instagram account for your dog and you talk from the dog's perspective.
You do a food account where you post all the meals you make at home.
That's a good one.
Hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You're a nurse.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good job, guys. All right. My love is Squid Game. Anybody heard of Squid Game?
No, I have no idea what that is.
I saw the TikTok of one scene. And it looks very interesting.
Yeah, so Squid Game is a Korean TV show. It is on Netflix. I'm a real watcher, so I watch the Korean version with the English subtitles. I don't watch the dubbed version because I am cultured.
You
But
shouldn't watch dub shit.
basically, it is a bunch of people who are gambling addicts. Sounds familiar. And they lose all of their money, and these people give them an opportunity to win it all back. And they sign up for these games, and little do they know it's a bunch of kids games. But if they mess up or break the rules or don't finish in time, they are murdered. And it is
What?
electric, and I love it. It is very
Not
good. It's a
murdered?
fake. It's not a real
Not a
show.
real-
Oh,
Oh my God.
It's fake.
I was gonna say, what's going on in Korea?
It's
That was on
fake.
that news story.
It is a fake show, but it's like one of the shows where it's obviously it's pretending to be real, but it's fake, you know what I mean?
What's like an example of a murder? Like how did they murder them?
They just get shot. So there's this one, it's the third episode. I won't go into too much detail about it, but basically they have to pick a symbol and then they have to carve it out of honeycomb. Like, you know what honeycomb is, and they have to carve it out with this little needle. And if they break it at all, or if they don't get their shape out in time, by the end, they die. And this guy messes up, and a dude just puts a revolver to his head and shoots him, and he dies, and his brain splatters down this huge slide. It's awesome.
Nice.
So
it sounds really, really cool. I'm picturing like a Korean guy losing at Connect 4 and getting shot in the head execution style.
The very first episode is red light, green light, and it's fucking awesome.
That's a TikTok I saw. I saw red light, green light, and I thought it was just a casual game. And then one guy lost, and he just gets shot in the face immediately.
Yeah, and then there's like 200 people who try to run and get out, and they all just get bloodbathed. It's sweet.
Cool.
So if you like stuff like that, it's a good show. It also has a pretty good plot too. So
I see Jake.
There's a plot?
There's a plot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this for sure now, but
it's good.
I can just see Jake coming home from a shift to the bike shop, just pissed off as fuck, and just popping that one on, getting all the anger out.
Yep, I'm on episode 4, so I'll watch it more this week. If I have a particularly hard day, you'll know where I'll be.
Just rewatching the death scenes.
Yep, just that on repeat. All right, Sean, what is your love this week?
My love is Gus Johnson, and I think
he's been getting too much slander. Too much.
He's been getting a lot of slander.
I don't agree with it at all because,
neither do I.
Like you mentioned earlier, that Prater kick that Jamal Agnew returned, Gus Johnson was on the call for that, and yeah, he just makes every call electric. He makes a Jaguars versus Cardinals game seem like the Super Bowl because I don't know. He just has so much energy. It's refreshing to hear. Like you just hear the most on an average NFL game. You always hear like the most mundane announcers, and it's just there's no difference between all of them. But then Gus gets on the call, and my God, when Jamal Agnew was returning that kick, you would have thought the U.S. beat the Soviet Union in hockey again. Like it was that level of excitement. It's cool. I don't get why people are hating on him.
No, I don't know why he gets hate. I much rather hear his excitement than hear Chris Collinsworth fucking blow another Aaron Rodgers again. Like Chris Collinsworth never said a bad word about a single person. And I get it. It's part of the job. You have to act like you like people all the time, but he never admits when anyone does anything wrong. And it's so annoying. I'd much rather have an announcer who is real and honest about the games and maybe take some backlash from being honest than somebody who's just there, just dick riding the entire time. So I enjoy Gus Johnson's authenticity. He's a very good announcer.
He just seems like a guy that loves sports. Like every cool play that happens, it sounds like the average guy on a couch or like a group of guys, and we see like a cool play. That's how Gus Johnson reacts to it with a lot more energy. I'll give him that because it sounds like he has like an orgasm every single time a play like that happens.
Orgasm.
But yeah, I love him.
Yeah, he's absolutely great. And I'll always remember he's just called a lot of Big Ten championship games. So I'll always love him for that. So, all right, Adam, wrap us up. You're underneath a blanket. You're traveling on an airplane with shitty Wi-Fi and shitty connection and bad microphone. What is your love?
Adam, live from the submarine.
My love is that you can
Adam, can you hear us from way down there?
Yes, I can hear you, Jacob. The fact that you can buy like actual Chick-fil-A sauce, like the actual brand at Meijer. I thought that they only had like the generic Meijer brand, but I found it today and I cannot wait to make a turkey sandwich.
Oh yeah, dude.
You're an easy guy to please.
Yeah.
I feel like Adam just like drove home from work today and
With his arm out the window, just so excited.
stopped by the groceries and he was like, huh, today's a good day.
It was.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A sauce is incredible though.
Yeah, very
One
good.
of my buddies got he went to Chick-fil-A and just got a pack, like a whole bag of them the other day. So we've had it for weeks and it's erotic.
Very, very good. Great sauce. Absolutely great.
sauce.
All right. Anything else? Yeah. Anybody else have anything to say?
Oh, sir.
All right. Well, good podcast, everybody. We will preview the NFL and college football later in the week. Don't know which some of the guys might be able to make it on. If not, it will probably be me and a couple of the MSU guys again, but everyone has an open invite. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Moving Forward Pod, FWD Pod, and on Twitter, same thing, TikTok, The Moving Forward Pod, where our clip of the day will be posted again tomorrow. Super excited to post it. I'll text the boys. We'll find out which one, but I think hand job part 2 video might be the clip of the day again. So Sean, good job with that. And I'll make sure to I'll make sure to tag the Lions in our getting rid of the curse ideas. That will be another clip that we'll post on our TikTok.
Great
So follow
idea.
it there. And then on YouTube, you can watch us early. Well, that'll be up later tonight, late Monday night. And then also just rebuilt the Oklahoma City Thunder for Logan. He wanted to see Amoni Bates. You can see Amoni Bates. So that one's for Logan. If anybody has any other things they want me to do, be more than happy to do it. So, yep. Until next time, thank you all. Peace.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows,
As here's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos. It will be a home run.
but it ain't about how hard you hit.
And I'd hit out the park, no question, with all due respect.
It's about how hard you can get hit.
And you might need, at some point in your life, a little massage on your ass.
And keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.